welcome to the learning part. Today we'll be talking about horizontal versus vertical scaling while designing the system. Alright, let's suppose you are fresh off the market, you are a new service and starting in the market with a very minimal requirement that you need to serve the traffic of your users using a system, right? Which serves as a server for you, right? Now, initially, since your service is a new one and gauging the customers and increasing the user base, right? A smaller machine might be able to handle the load of the customer calls, right? But as soon as your user increases, your service requirement also increases. The older machine now not able to handle the load anymore, right? So what we need to do is either you want to increase the machine capacity. Okay, by how do you increase the machine capacity? You either basically order a new host which is bigger, better capacity, right? Or you add like number of hosts to your current system in order to handle the load. All right, so both these concepts kind of comes under scalability. And the first one where I talked about ordering a host with a better capacity, or I'd say RAM or processing or whatnot, these kind of hosts, this kind of scaling is called vertical scaling, right? The second type of scaling, where I was mentioning about adding number of hosts to your current service to handle the load better, it is called horizontal scaling. Welcome to the learning part. Today we'll comparison between horizontal and vertical scaling. First off, in horizontal scaling, you have multiple systems serving the traffic of the users. So you want to ensure that no single system is only being rammed by the user calls, right? So what comes here is the concept called load balancing. Load balancing, what it means is that all the systems serving the traffic of the users should be able to serve traffic either equally or at basically in some particular intervals. So there are multiple algorithms you can use for balancing the load between the systems in horizontal scaling. In vertical scaling, whereas you do not have any other system apart from the single system serving the traffic, so the load balancing is not required in the vertical scaling systems. The second of difference between horizontal and vertical scaling is that horizontal scale systems are resilient to system failures. What that means is that if you have, let's suppose, five systems serving the traffic, okay, now maybe one of the system is down, so there are four systems still left serving the traffic, maybe at reduced capacity or any other capacity, right? While you are working on fixing that fifth system out. Whereas in vertical scaling, it is not resilient to system failures. Basically, there is single point of failure. When if the system is down, your service is down, period. You don't have any other solution, right? The third thing, difference between horizontal and vertical scaling is that in horizontal scale systems, there is some network latency, since there are network calls required to communicate between the host in the horizontal scale system. Whereas in vertical scale system, all the communication is inter-process, so it is faster. It is much faster since the latency is very well reduced in the vertical scale system. The fourth difference between horizontal and the vertical scale systems are, in horizontal scale system, the data is inconsistent. What it means is that maybe your host one has got some data, or you might have some cache or something, or your host one has got some data which is much earlier than other host, right? And if it serves traffic, it will always be reverting the data response with the updated data, whereas the other hosts, they might be bit off late to get all the updated data, so the data is always inconsistent. Basically in horizontal systems, there the data is inconsistent sometimes, or all the times. All right, in the case of vertical systems, the data is always consistent since there is a single host serving the traffic. As simple as that. The fifth of difference between horizontal and vertical scale system is that, or I would say it is one of the important one in my view, that horizontally scaled system scales well whenever user base increases, or the demand increases. What you have to do is you just put another box along those five boxes which I talked about, and blah, it will just like start serving the traffic. As simple as that. Whereas in vertical scale systems, you have to replace the host every time you have much more requirement. You will go for a bigger host every time, and there is bound to be a hardware limitation at some point of time when your vertical scaling is going to be stopped. Basically, it will not be fruitful for you at some point of time when the hardware requirement limits are reached. So these are the kind of five-star differences between horizontal and vertical scaling. Now, if you ask me whether horizontal scaling is required for you or vertical scaling is required for you, I would say it all depends on your business requirement. For example, for your business, maybe vertical scaling is good for you initially, and then you are since your user base increases, you want to go to horizontal scaling. That is perfectly normal. Or you might have a caching mechanism where you may want to use vertical scaling and horizontal scaling for serving the traffic and whatnot. So you can go with either single approach where you have either vertical scaling or horizontal scaling, or you can go with approach which is hybrid in nature. It's all depend on your business requirement. So based on the business requirement, the scaling also changes. So I hope I was able to make you understand difference between horizontal and vertical scaling, and which is required and when. It all depends. I hope you like the video. So if you like the video, please like and share the video, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content, and press that bell icon so that you get notification from us. So thank you guys.